Okay, this is question 4. It's from I think it's paper 3, May-June 2018. And first of all, we've been given a little algorithm, and our first question for 2 marks is to describe the purpose of the algorithm. What's it for? So we can probably find more than 2 marks here. So the first thing the algorithm is going to do is asking us to input a number. So it's storing whatever we type in using the variable number. We're then making a decision. So we're looking at the number and we're deciding if the number is bigger than 100, we're going to output a message the number is too large. If it's not, if it's less than 100, we're going to output the number is acceptable. So this, it looks like this little bit of code here is validating a number, and it's only going to accept numbers that are less than 100. Okay, and then within that little sentence there, you can talk about the input, the variable, the decision. There's more than enough for a few marks there. Okay, so you can describe the algorithm, but look for its purpose. So this is obviously a little validation routine, validating numbers that are less than 100. Okay. Now, there is an issue with it, which question B leads on to. The algorithm only allows one attempt at inputting an acceptable value. So if we typed in 106, it'll output that the message is too large, then it'll stop and the program will carry on. So it's accepted our incorrect value. How do we change the algorithm? So that's here, state how you change the algorithm so it will continue until the suitable input is supplied. What we'd have to do is we'd have to change it to a while loop, and the while loop would keep going around and around until the condition is acceptable. So remember, when we're using loops, if we know how many times it's going to run, we use a for loop. If we don't, or it may not need to run at all, we can use a while loop. Okay, so that would be the answer for that one. In the mark scheme for this one, it says use a condition controlled loop, but I think if you said, well, I use a while loop that would check the value and make the user enter the value until it was correct, I think that's fine with a little bit of justification. Okay, and then rewrite the algorithm in full using pseudocode. Okay, so for this to work now, so we need to input the number, and so we can test it. Instead of the if now, we're going to use while. So we're going to say while number is greater than 100, then we're going to put what we want it to do. So we need to tell them it's bigger than 100. So we will output number greater than 100. Please try again. So we put a message on the screen. To allow them to try again, we have to actually input the number again. So we will input number, and then the idea is that if they enter a number and it's less than 100, this loop doesn't need to run, so it'll just carry on, the program will carry on. If they enter a number here and it's bigger than 100, we're now into our while loop, and they're going to be stuck there until they enter a number that's correct. So just like when we do a for loop, and at the bottom of the for loop you put next count, or whatever it is your loop is whatever is controlling your loop. Here we're going to stop the while loop here with an end while, and I mean that should be fine, What we can do is, I mean, they do have here an output to say the number is acceptable. So I think if you do, sorry, it's up here. We have here where it says the number is acceptable, and they do say rewrite the algorithm in full. So although you might be tempted to say, well, look, we finished here, well, actually, no, there is this bit here which we haven't included. So, I mean, it's fairly straightforward. All we need to do is after our end while is put here an output number is acceptable. And I've just noticed I've kind of rephrased the original term, the number is too large, which as a validation message doesn't really give you the information you need. If you weren't aware that the number couldn't be greater than 100, then you may well just keep entering an incorrect number. So maybe perhaps what I should have done is included the exact text from here. I can't see it making a difference to the marking. They should be positively marked, but that will do everything. Okay, thank you very much.